Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to our last pre-recorded distance learning lesson for the year. Once again, I hope everyone has been safe, and I hope everyone have a very good summer. Miss Stuckey's going to miss you all, and so make sure you be good and do the right thing all summer. So, to start our last pre-recorded lesson, our topic once again is geometry. So what's our standard? Our standard is 4.G.A.2. Classify two-dimensional figures based on the presence or absence of parallel or perpendicular lines, or the presence or absence of angles of a specified size. Recognize right triangles as a category and identify right triangles. Okay? So once again, if we were to annotate our standard like we do in class, some keywords, of course, you will see is classify. We're going to recognize, right? And we're going to do some identifying. So all those things have to deal with our lesson for today. So classify two-dimensional figures based on the presence or absence of parallel or perpendicular lines, or the presence or absence of angles of a specified size. Recognize right triangles as a category and identify right triangles. And we're continuing to annotate new information. Of course, you will see what? Right triangles, right? You will see parallel, perpendicular lines as a review. So in your distance learning environment, boys and girls, once again, you can always pause this and go over the standard and the importance of this standard to finally try to reach our objective. Now, so what would be our objective for today? Okay, so our objective by the end of the lesson, I can reason about line segments and angles to classify triangles. So once again, by the end of the lesson, I can reason about line segments and angles to classify triangles. Okay, so we have a solve and share that in your distant learning environments, boys and girls, we're going to talk about it, I'm going to explain it for a second, but in your distant learning environments, of course, you all pause and put your answers in your private messaging in your Google Classroom. So, because we're in a distant learning environment, boys and girls, if you were in the classroom, I would have had you all to measure these triangles here, but of course, because we can't do that, so what I've done, I've added the measurements to all these different triangles to help you all with your thought when you put into your private messaging, when you're trying to answer this particular solve and share. So, what is the solve and share? Sort the triangles shown below, which are these triangles, into 2 or more groups. Explain how you sorted them. Solve this problem any way you can. Okay, what's our motto when we say solve this problem any way you can? We talk about figurative language. We always say there's always more than one way to skin a cat. And what do we mean by that? We're not trying to skin a cat, of course not. What we're trying to say is there's more than one way that we can solve these math problems. That's where we are. Okay, so sort the triangles shown below into 2 or more groups. Explain how you sorted them. Now, so in your distant learning, of course, this is the time you will pause it and then you will put your answers into your private messaging for me in your Google Classroom environment. So if you had to annotate this problem, again, of course, once we are a literacy focused math class, so we just like we're in Mr. Baxter's classroom as usual, and reading is so important, literacy is so important, so we try to annotate this particular problem, okay? So you will pause that, and that's what you would try to do. Now, so as we come back, let's think about some questions as you're trying to annotate and try to figure out this particular problem. Question 1, how many triangles are there to sort? Okay, how many triangles are there to sort? And I see some of you all have circled this word sort. You put a question there. What is sort the triangles? Okay. How might you sort or look here or put into categories? So, of course, if we was in our classroom, we would try to figure what does sort mean? So, sort, boys and girls, mean to put into categories, and that's why we color-coded problem 2 in green. What are you asked to explain? So these are the 3 questions I want us to look at right now. Okay, so how many triangles are there to sort? Raise your hands in your distant learning environment. How many triangles are we trying to sort? Okay, very good. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we know by annotating here then, so there's going to be 7. 7 triangles we're trying to sort. Now, so if we're trying to sort them, how might you sort or put these triangles into different categories then? If you had to do that, now of course we said that's what we need to do, how would you sort them? What things would you think about to try to sort or put these triangles into categories? If you think you know, raise your hands in your distant learning environment. Good job. Excellent. Excellent. I see some hands being raised here. Good. All right. If you said you may sort it by sides, okay, Okay, we can understand that. How many sides does the triangle have? 8, right? Oh no, 9, 2. Oh, right. So every triangle has, right, 3 sides. So we're going to sort or put these triangles into different categories by their sides. What else made you go by? Okay, it's possible. The sides of the triangle, you may put them sorted by size. Oh, you may sort it or put it in categories by angles. Good job out there. So we can put these triangles into different categories by looking at the sides of the triangles possibly, and angles. Okay? So, what are you asked, when it's all said and done, to explain? What are you asked to do? Right. Problem 2 said that for you. You are asked how triangles were sorted or put into what? Different categories. And so at this time, boys and girls, before we get to part B, this is what you all need to do right now in your distant learning environments for part A, okay? And then I will get back with you all in a second to go over part B.